Hey, what's going on? What's going on, YouTube? Listen, it's your boy Alex Synthesizer Jenkins, aka A to the J, back with another video talking about the Behringer WING Edit App, and I'm using the Behringer WING Rack. Hey, this is another episode for Tips for Worship, and I just want to go over the I want to go over the application that I built for my ministry. I want to show you guys how I got everything laid out. It took me about a good year of owning Behringer WING. Maybe a little less than a year from the time I first started doing the videos showing you guys how to build, building the edit app. And with all that being said, let's jump right into it. I'm the musician, the head musician, MD at my church, ACOJ New Life, Apostolic Church of Jesus down in Pompano Beach, Florida. I'm the audio engineer there, and I just want to show you what we got going on. So you're looking at the Wing Edit app, and if you go down here, let's go to setup here. You can see that I'm right here. You can see that I'm running version 3.2.1. Just updated this not too long ago. And I also have the latest update on the Wing Rack firmware. So with that being said, I'm going to try. Last time I said I was going to try to keep this video short. It definitely took me a long time to show you guys what I did. So let's try to make this quick. I want to try to go through everything I did on here. So, I'm sorry if this video is too long for you, but if you have to go, just do me a favor. If these videos are helping you, and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs before the end of the year. That's my goal. And, when you get an opportunity, if you need some tips for worship, go check out the podcast. All right. So channel 1, as you can see, channel 1 through channel 8 are my drums. Okay. Kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, tom 1, 2, 3, and the overhead. So I'm only running one overhead mic. Don't judge me. I also have some room mics too, but we'll get to that later. So, all right, on my kick bus, my kick in, let's go over to, I just got a gate on there, and I'm using this BDX 160 compressor. I have the threshold at 0.5. I have my compression at 3.1, output gain at 1.5 dB. And the kick is kicking. Same thing. If you go over to channel 2, my kick out, just got a gate. Here's my EQ. I'm using the Soul Analog. Got my gate. Same thing, BDX 160. All right. Let's move on. My snare. The Soul 9000. All right. So while I'm doing this, I want you guys to always check out my channels. Right now we're on 1 through 16 because the rack has a lot going on in it, and I want to try to cover everything I can with the time I got. And listen, guys, I actually want to build a template where I can put on put on my website or online where you guys can go download it, but I'm not there yet. So everything that I'm showing now, just try to follow along, open up your app and try to save some things. Try to save some of the settings you see. And what I'm doing tomorrow, it's a Saturday night when I'm recording this. So Sunday, I'm going to use 2 SD cards. I'm going to put it in the back of the Wing Rack, and I'm going to record the service so you can actually hear what this mix sound like. All right. So, so you guys know that I'm not just throwing anything at you. So I got a no stressor on the snare top. Oh, wow. It sounds, when I tell you this snare sounds good, it sounds good. All right, so you can see my gate. Got a Soul 9000 on there. All right, everything's slap in the middle on the snare. All right, snare bottom. You know, I got a compressor, just a regular wing compressor, which it sounds great. Got another gate on that. All right, so my toms, same thing, just a gate, a compressor. You see the settings. You know what? Let me go back to the gate. So if you guys want to, you know, take a look at that, you can pause it, check out those settings. Let's keep on moving. I just got a gate and a compressor on gate and a compressor on tom 2, gate and a compressor on tom 3. Wing compressor, there's the settings. And I had to do some tweaking. Now, I want to show you guys something. So look at my panning. Wait, I thought, you see my panning? I got my tom 1, pan to the right. Wait, you know what? This is, somebody must have messed with this. I definitely want to fix this, so let's do this. Well, I'll do that later. So I thought I had this pan to the left and this pan to the right and tom 3 pan to the right, but it looks like maybe one of the volunteers might have messed with it, which I'm okay with because it might sound better in the house to them, but I'm going to talk to them about that tomorrow. Overhead slap in the middle. All right, so now channel 9. So you see I have a floor mic. I'm not going to go over what I'm doing on the floor mic. You can just see my EQ. And the speakers in our church are kind of set up a way that I, wouldn't set it up if I had control over that. You know, some of us MDs these days don't have too much control and, things don't get done right sometimes. But, so this is the EQ. I pretty much got a combination plug-in on all my mics. So you see you got the source extractor and the Model 2A. And then I have another compressor here, which is one of my favorite. I actually have the hardware here in my home studio. All right. So, the same thing with all these mics. The floor mics are just mics that we have on the floor, for the church that rents with us. And, if someone want to come up and talk about something, we'll, pass on one of these floor mics. So I'm not doing too much on those. All right. So I'm not going to stay in depth. So here, bass. So we have a bass player and he plugs right into the DI. All right. No pedal board, no nothing, so, we just EQ it here. I have a Model 2A on that thing. And down here, we got the Psycho bass doing this thing. So one thing you guys have to check out, I like the Psycho bass, but this Jazz Clean amp right here, that's a nice amp too if you're not, running anything. So check that out, all right? Let's put that back. I'm not going to save it. I already have this template saved. So then the trumpet, I just got him straight blowing. I haven't really EQ'd him because for some reason the mic he used is really good and we have it a little far from him. So plus the room mics, it catch the real sound. All right, so let's jump up to my keys. Bottom keys, check out my EQ. Y'all check that out now. That's we are playing a Roland Phantom EX. So this is the EQ for that. And I'm playing that board, so I'm okay with this EQ. And we also have a Model 2A compressor on that. All right. Now listen, this is how I do things. So, everybody out there who's, engineering at your spot, you might do things different, but this is how I'm doing it. Keys 2. All right. It's my EQ. Got a wing compressor on there. All right. And guys, notice that, let's go here. You see here was 17 and 18. So channel 17 is stereo. Channel 18 is stereo. You see that? 19 to 20. So let's go to our Hammond. This is our Hammond C3. All right, so I got a gate on there, being aggressive. And I have, this is my EQ for the Hammond. You know, to let it cut through the mix with those bass pedals and everything. It sounds good. I have 2 studio mics on there. And the mics that I have one, what is it, AT2020? Audio Technical, I think the name is. I could be wrong, but it's a cheap $100 mic. And I also have another Amazon microphone that I just had thrown in my bag. I put that on the Hammond organ here, guys. And when I tell you that thing sounds good, it sounds good. All right, so we're going to skip over these tracks. So here are the microphones. I want to let you guys see. This is the pastor at the church EQ, you know. And like I said, your EQ might be a little different because, you know, the way your room is. So I had to EQ these microphones to fit our room. All right, so that's my EQ. And like I told you earlier, I have a combination on all my microphones. Have the source extractor and the Model 2A. And these are my settings. All right, you see that? 12.0 dB, a negative 22.5 dB, and you know, I got the Model 2A, the peak reduction at 40 and the gain at 40, and it sounds good. All right, and I pretty much have these mics, both of these the same. You know, it's just a little difference because this is our first lady. She's a pastor. Actually, my mom, and these are her settings. You know, 34, 27. So you have to play. You have to play with your settings to fit everyone's voice. You know, and it takes time. You know, especially if everyone don't come in. It takes time to get these mics right. All right. Another minister there. All right. Another minister. Another minister. So all my mic. Now notice. I almost forgot. All the people who singing at the ministry with all the fetch channels that I had available, I put a pitch fits plug-in on all their vocals, and on the live stream it actually sounds pretty good. All right, so since I'm showing you that, let's jump over to the effects real quick, and you can see here's my effects. You know, drum verb, snare verb. You know, so we'll get to that. I'll show you what I'm doing there. So let's get back to the microphones. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the microphones. This microphone right here, Phoenix Pro, is a microphone that we keep laying around for a guest singer when they come in. So this will be my singing mic chain. So I want you guys to check this out. So first, if you look over here, I have EQ first. There's the EQ. All right. So take a look at that. Take a screenshot if you need to. You know, run this video back. And I guarantee you, with these settings out the gate, you're going to sound good. Got another compressor right on the bottom of the combination, a 76 limiter amplifier, which sounds good. All right. And like I told you guys, pitch fits is on all my singing mics. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Room mics. We come up. Check out my room mics, guys. Channel 31, 32. I have stereo room mics, and they're the Behringer C1s, I believe. I might be wrong, guys. They're the little tiny pencil Behringer mics. Listen, guys, they're like $40, $50 on Sweetwater, man, on Amazon. Listen, for some crowd mics or some choir mics or even some overhead mics for your drums on a budget, they're condenser microphones, those little pencil mics. Man, listen, people are asleep on these microphones, and once they've been around for a while too. Man, I recommend y'all go check those out, man. They definitely some good mics. All right. So we just went through 17 through 32. This is my MD mic. You know, I got a combinator. Some people be like, bro, why you got all that? But look, I want my mic to sound good when I'm calling numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4. You know what I mean? I want the band to hear me. I want it to sound clear. So let's get over to 33 through the Ops 8. All right. So here's our praise and worship leader mic right here. I don't have too much on it. Just hers is a little different. You know, the EQ is crazy. Now, this microphone was one of those Kingdom microphones, and I don't know. When I tell you just this microphone alone, like all the microphones that came from this company, it could be us not setting the frequencies right or whatever, but these mics have a lot of feedback, so I have to try to go back in one day when I get some time and just change the channels on these things. But for now, because we have a big event tomorrow, I had to get all the feedback out. This is the EQ that I had to hit, guys. So I don't recommend you following that one unless you have a feedback problem like we did. All right, so here's the compressor. And here's a BDX 902 that I put on that microphone, all right? And it sounds good. Now, I'm going to try this tomorrow, but if I don't like the way it sounds, I might change it. But doing sound check, it sounded great. Like, I was surprised. Like, you know, I'm like, wow, this mic sounds good. And then, you know, I have all my effects coming from a bus over here, which I'll get to in a minute. Guys, here's our tech mic. So this microphone here, as you can see right here on the mains, it's turned all the way down. This is our tech mic. So, you know, everybody in the booth, they can talk to the musicians. They can talk to the singers on stage in their in-ears. This is what the tech mic is for. Then we got our Bluetooth. We got our music. We got our guide tracks. We got our compressors, you know, USB. So that's all cool, guys. So this is my new setup. And the next video that I do, I'm going to show you guys how everything sound. And I'm going to see if I can get this template as a free download for everybody. So if you watching, hey, drop it in the comments because I'm still learning how to do this stuff. Somebody teach me how I can send this file out, you know, maybe get some website, you know, learn how I can just send it to you guys for free. All right, so now I'm going to move my head over here. And I want you guys to take a look to the right, all the way to the right, and check out what I got going on. So first, we're going to jump on our main bus, all right? I'm going to show you guys what I got going on over here. So I have a red compressor, all right, for my compressor. I have an even 84 EQ, which as you can see over here on the right by mains, I have it off right now because last mic check it sounded better, but I also have it right here on the same EQ. And I love this EQ. You know, you have two different sets of EQs right here, and you know, it helps. I really love this EQ. And that's my mains. Let's jump over to the subs. There's my, wait, did I show you guys my EQ? I think I had it flat on the mains, right? No, I don't. So yeah, there's my EQ for our room for the mains, and it works. Here's our sub EQ, you know, get all them high frequencies out, keep the lows. And there's my favorite compressor. I have a 76 on the sub, right? Let's jump to our stream. Stream, same compressor, red compressor. Here's my settings for the first compressor. So if you guys want to take a look at that. All right, let's jump on down. Here's my EQ. I love this EQ, this 560 graphic EQ, like for live stream, because I just like the simple thing, you know, the back in the day look, you know, the graphic EQ. You see I have this set to negative 1.8 dB under 8K. 16K, I have negative 1.3 dB. Hey, if this video is touching somebody, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like the video. It you know, it tells me that, hey man, you should keep doing this. I'm trying to, and listen, I'm just doing this to give somebody a tip, because I remember when I didn't know how to do this, and you know, some people you call, you know, they don't really want to help you. They give you a quick answer but don't show you. So I'm taking the time out on this video to show you guys how I maneuver. All right, that should have gave you guys plenty of time to get that EQ. All right, so here's my mastering bus for the live stream. All right, we got a tape. All right, here's my settings. You know, got the high shelf on, low bump off. Have my drive set to 2.0 dB. And I got that speed all the way up. I got that thing moving. All right, let's jump over to the EQ. And this, I really love this mastering bus because they just put everything in one. This is incredible. I love it. Here's my EQ settings. You know, I'm just gonna hover over it. Got the sub set to 0. All right. We got our 160 hertz set to, look, 0.5. 2.5 gigahertz set to 1.5. Our air frequency is at 40K. Our air gain is at 2.5. All right, and here we're at 0.7. All right, then I love this plug-in here. All right, this enhancer, and you can see that I really don't have anything going too crazy. Just throwing it on helps. And here's my frequency on high, set to 23. You can see I actually pulled back out my mix, because for some reason when I was listening to my mix, it had so much brightness on it. Now, Behringer, what I wish we could have did on hit this, I'm not sure if we can, but I'm pretty sure we can't. So if you guys know in the comments, let me know. I wish we can change some of these things out in this mastering bus that they built for us. And here's the precision limiter, which a lot of people are using for the Behringer WING and the X32 on their live stream. And here's my settings. I have the knee set to 3. I have my attack at 0.05, squeeze set to 0, and my release at 502 milliseconds. All right, and my gain is set to 13.00, but that will vary. My output gain is at negative 0.50 dB. All right, and this works for our ministry. So the way our church is built, they kind of built it surround sound, which, you know, you don't hear a lot of people doing. So we have 2 speakers in the front of the ministry on the left and right side of the building, and we have 2 in the back on the left and right side, which isn't ideal for, you know, live sound, but that's how, you know, that's what we working with. So all right, so our real speakers, I just have a compressor on that just to make sure it don't get out of hand, and that's it. So here's my stage monitors. You see that I don't have anything on my stage monitors but EQ here, just to, you know, because I had a little feedback. So our monitors, we're changing them out for EVs, but we have some off-market brand monitors in the church that's on stage, which, you know, I'm like, yo, let's take those rear speakers in the back that are EVs and put them as monitors, and take these and put them in the back. But we're actually in the midst of getting some new EVs, so that'd be great. But for right now, that's our stage monitor. So now here are our pack, and these are the headphones that you know, all our singers use. So we have pack 1, pack 2, pack 3, and pack 4. All right, so let's check out pack 1. So I don't have any compressors, anything on the ears. Now, hey, let me know in the comments what you guys are doing with your mix for your singers, like your in-ears. Like, are you using a compressor? Are you EQing them? Like, let me know, because I'm running our in-ear monitors by myself. So, you know, with the P16s, we have an EQ, we have all that. So guys, let me know. So all our packs is, you know, set the same way. Before I move on, let me show you the mix. Right? So I'm gonna go to 116. So you can see I have the drums, you know, around -28, most of them 29. Floor mics, those low. So, but when you get to our singers, you see I have the keyboard, the Hammond, the loop set at -10, and now, you know, all our microphones are set around -2.2. You know, and I see that actually sounds good on the in-ears, right? So most of the singer mics are set to -30 dBs on the gain. So, you know, we get that high gain. So if you go over here to the patch -20 over here, guys, you can see, look, if I go to my mains, I'm like at -20. This is how I got mine set up, you know, so I can give some good gain and make sure we can hear everything even when things not loud. Hey, I hope I'm helping somebody. All right, so that's all I patched. Now, let me show you this, because I know somebody is probably asking, why do he have a bus for drums, a bus for lead mics, and a bus for background vocals? So with our P16s, we only have 16 channels. So what I did, I made a bus right here. So let's click on that bus. So if you see, everything is down on this bus, right? But except the music, because this is the way I get the music to the P16s, all right? But everything else is off, because this is my drum bus that I'm routing to channel 1 and 2, a stereo mix to the P16s, right? Almost had a brain fart there, but yeah, to the P16s. So channel 1 and 2 is all the drums, right? And I have it set to 0, and I have the gain on these things is high, so the P16s are getting a good clean signal. So that's why I have a bus for the drums. Same thing with a lead mic. The lead mics are all going to the P16. I'm not sure exactly what channel right now, but I'm going to show you in a minute how I have that route. And once we get the routing, man, this video is going to be long. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you guys watch. You know, I know these long videos these days, sometimes people don't like watching them, but this is the only way you're going to get the information. It's like reading the book. You know, you got to stay with it. So look, lead mics. All these microphones are lead mics. Everybody's not going to have them at one time. But on our P16s, we'll know, oh, that's a leader. They're going to be leading a song. They're going to be praying. They're going to probably be doing the offering. Or they're going to be doing announcements. You know, these are lead mics. So that's why I made this bus, to send this bus to the P16 so we have room, you know, for everything else. All right. Same thing with background vocals. You know, you see background vocals. And look, see background vocals and mics that people, you know, guest mics and everything, all going to background vocals mic. So when they're singing it, we could turn the background vocals down. You know, I had the background vocals bus on the DCA, so we could bring the background vocals down, right? So that's why. So here we go. Our drum dry bus, and we got all our drums on it, and everything's dry. You see, nothing's on there. Everything's dry on that channel. That's our dry bus. Then we have a bus for our drums, and you see, let me show you what I got here, guys, for our drum compressor bus. All right, let me move myself out the way. I know you guys tired of seeing me up there. So we got a no stressor, all right, on the drum compressor bus, and we have the famous tape delay, the tape machine, all right? All right, let's keep moving. Drum verb. And as you can see, I only have drums coming through this, all right? So we're using a TC electronic plugin on the drum verb, and it sounds good. You see, I got it set up to 3.2. Here's the EQ for that. All right. All right, let's jump over to our snare verb. Like, guys, you can see that all my buses are used, but look, I still have my matrix left, you know. So I know some people, you know, actually run their mains and stuff into the matrix, and I've been watching stuff like that and reading into it, but I haven't got, even on the X32, I haven't really learned. I'm not ashamed to say how to use the matrix effectively. All right, snare verb. All right, let's jump up here. We got the Wayne Digital Reverb, and here's my settings. Guys, when I tell you this snare verb is awesome, I love it. When I first put this on the drummer snare and he came in and he was hitting that snare, he was like, wow. You know, he heard it in his P16s and everything, man. He was like, wow. All right, so we have a vocal dry channel, and I just thought about it. I might need, okay, we have all that set up. Vocal dry, yep, vocal dry, yep. I might need to pull these mics up, but I'll do it at another time so I don't hold you guys. All right, vocal compressor. Let me show you what I got on here. No stressor. You see that we're using that for a lot of vocals, all right? Vocal verb. Guys, take notes of this. Y'all ready for it? Boom. Plate reverb. One of my friends told me about this reverb because I was using let me show you which one I like. The Vintage Room here. This was my favorite plugin. I mean, you couldn't take me away from it. Then somebody put me on to the plate reverb, man. The blue plate reverb. It sounds good on vocals. All right, that's another bus. Oh, before I go, let me show you my EQ. And there's my EQ, guys. All right. So we almost done here. I'm gonna get ready to end the video soon. I wish I could have went live so I could have had somebody say, hey, go over this. All right, my vocal delay. Here's my EQ. And you can see up in FETS 4, I have a tape delay. So let's jump in. Here's the Wayne tape echo. This thing sounds great. You know, got that set to 438 ms. Sustain at 20%. Drive at 10%. Flutter at 0%. All right. Got the power on that. And guys, that's it for my bus and my mains and everything on that side. I'm not going to get into the CC1 and all that. This was new on the updates. So, you know, I haven't got into this completely yet. I'm still learning how to mess around with that. But we'll get to it. All right. All right. So before we go tonight, it might have to be a part 2 of this video, and once I come back with part 2, I have the template information where you can, you know, take this and just plug your snake or however you want to do it so you can be sounding good out the gate. All right. Let's see. Routing. So here's my routing. So we're using the AES50A, and you know, I got everything set. I got my drums there. I got the keyboard, the loops, most of the mics and everything coming from there. And then my local inputs, I don't have much out of 24 on the rack. We actually have this sitting at the tech desk, not on the stage. So, you know, we still got plenty of channels that we can use. But I wanted to show you guys the AES50 outs. So you know that down here 33 through 48 is for the P16s. So like I was showing you guys, on the P16 1 through 2 is 33 through 34 is my drum bus. And right here, right? This is going to the P16 1 and 2. So the keys bottom here is a stereo going to the P16 3 and 4, and 5 and 6 for the keys top, and the Hammond is on 7 and 8. Then the bass, you know, is on a private channel. Then our tech mic here, they're coming to the P16 on channel 9. Or is that? Yeah, 8. Yeah, 9. Oh, channel 10. Sorry, guys. The loop is coming through channel 11. The MD mic is coming through channel 12. So as you can see, like I'm really, I would never been able to fit all them drums and lead mics and background vocals on the P16. So I had to build a bus for them, for some of them to put them on. So that's when the lead mics, you see I have that, the whole bus. If I click here, you can see the bus group, you know, right here, lead mics going there, right? Background vocals, the whole bus going there. And then I have my room mics, a stereo pair of room mics going to the P16 and channel 15 and 16. We have them, all our stereo channels are linked on the P16. So if musicians want to hear the room and get that live sound when they got both ears in, that's why I put the room mics there, guys. So, you know, this is my output, and that's pretty much it, you know. See what else I can go over. My suspension card, I don't even know if let's see if yeah, I'm not hooked to, yeah, I don't, see, I think I'm on my internet right now, so I can't connect and show you the SD cards right now. But guys, this is what I built on the Wing Rack. I mean the Wing Edit App too, you know, and I hope this helps somebody, man. I want to thank y'all for joining my channel. Oh, one more thing before I go. Let me show you my DCAs, right? So everything that I was talking about, my FETs and all my bus down here, the FETs that I showed you, I have a DCA for that, for my speakers, for the media, like my Bluetooth, my music. I got a DCA for that. For the band and the keys, I have a DCA for that. For the keys and tracks, I have a DCA for that. Guitars, all these are my DCAs. So this is what I'm teaching our volunteers to mix from. I tell them, don't touch the mix in the main over here. Let's go back to the main. All right, let's get up. I tell them, don't touch this, because the drums, this is how I want the drums set. They sound good coming through our P16s. So I tell them, don't touch that. If you want to touch anything, if you want to mix from the DCAs, right? So here's our DCAs. You know, so you see the drums pulled down a little bit. This is a clean This is a clean file that I uploaded, but this get mixed, you know, every service. You know, if the drum's too loud, they come here, bring it down some. You know, if the bass too low, you know, you could bring it up some. Guitar's too loud, you could bring it down some. You know, vocals, you know, not sitting on top of the music, you can bring them up some. But you don't have to mess with the main mix. So I think if you got a volunteer, this is easier for them to, you know, mix from, you know, because all they got to say is, well, those vocals are too loud. So they can just bring them down a couple dB, you know, instead of going to each vocal, having to go from 1 through 16 to 17 to 32. Your DCAs is the best bet if you ask me. Hey, I want to thank y'all for joining the channel, Tips for Worship. Hopefully this video wasn't too long for you guys. And if these videos are helping, hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and come check the channel out whenever you get an opportunity. I'm going to try to keep these videos coming. Now, after I do a part 2 on this, if I do, because I think I went over everything, you know, we got our meters here. You definitely want to keep checking these meters. Make sure nothing's peaking when you're, you know, at your live show or whatever you're doing. Here's my effects rack. Everything is taken up, all right? So, you know, I want to get to the video with the Behringer P24. I have it actually sitting right here. You see that? And it works, but when I bought it, I should have did more research on it. I thought I was gonna have 24 single channels that I can actually use, but it's actually 12 channels, which for some reason they put 24 channels. So 1 and I would say 13 would be on the same channel, or you can make it stereo. You can have 12 stereo channels. I don't know, it's confusing, but I'm gonna do a video on that so I can, I want to get your opinion, you guys' opinion on that. But listen, thanks for watching, and I see you on the next one. Peace.